Hi, this is Rob Russen from Cape Coral, Florida, and you're watching GoTarryn TV.
Hey everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV today. It's Tarryn the Traveling Trainer at Atlanta, Georgia, episode 465, and we have Rob Russen, the CEO of Formula G18, joining us all the way from Cape Coral, Florida. Rob, how are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Well, despite computer technology and other glitches, you and I are finally able to connect. I was telling Rob before we're recording here, the Wi-Fi is very spotty here, so I'm hoping that it doesn't cut us out, but we'll give it the best shot. I can't thank you enough for giving us your time to come here today and talk about Formula G18 with everybody.
You're very welcome, and I welcome the opportunity.
Great. Well, let's go. Tell the folks, if you wouldn't mind, where you're from, where you grew up, and a little bit about yourself.
Originally from a very tiny town called Butler, Pennsylvania, near Bruno Sammartino's hometown in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And then I moved to Florida, 5 years old. Moved back to New Jersey, where I spent most of my life in Cherry. And then I moved out to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and went to work for a guy named Vern Gagne. My father, my grandfather, and I used to sit around watching Saturday morning wrestling on TV. And they had one rule: you weren't allowed to talk, only during the commercials. So I learned early how to watch and appreciate professional wrestling. Though later, people evolve into yelling and screaming and hollering and throwing things at the TV. It's quite an amazing sport.
That's pretty cool. And I told you before you and I were recorded too off camera that we definitely are going to do a separate video interview about the wrestling part of it.
Yes.
Let's start and talk about Formula G18, and could we be doing your testimonial, because if they go to your website, which we'll screen momentarily, how did it all begin for you?
In July 2009, my PSA level, which is how you gauge the condition of your prostate, had risen to a scary high level of 57. A normal, healthy PSA is between 0 and 5. I had been putting it off. I wasn't something that I was paying attention to.
Okay.
So they decided to do a biopsy at the hospital. When the biopsy results, the doctor called me into his office, told me to sit down, and he stared straight ahead at his monitor, wouldn't look at me. The first words out of his mouth were, "You're going to die."
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
I said, "Well, we're all going to pass away sooner or later. How much time do I have?" He said, "No, you don't understand. You're going to die soon. You have phase 4 prostate cancer, which had spread to the bones in my hips and alongside my skull." He said, "You don't have much time. Go home, say goodbye, get your things in order." I said, "No, that's not acceptable. I have plans. I've already bought a ticket moving to the Philippines. So if I'm going to die, I'm going to die there, halfway around the world, where I didn't know anybody." That was quite an adventure, but turned out to be the thing that saved my life. While I was there, I received no medical care of any kind from anybody. And I was trying to start a call center to help the local economy. And during one of my meetings, trying to hire recruits, a young lady walked into the meeting that really captured my eye. She ended up becoming my fiancée, and 3 months later we were married. During the course of the time, she told me about a cousin of hers who's a famous herbalist in the Philippines. He created custom blended herbs, spices, vegetables, and fruits as an alternative medicine for the doctors in the Philippines, and they private label on it and sell it directly to the clients. And he asked if I would consider letting him try to help me. I had nothing to lose. I mean, when you sit in that chair and the doctor doesn't have the courage to look at you but tells you you're going to die, that wipes away all hope. And that's one of the first things that cancer victims encounter. Hope is gone. You assume you're going to die, and that's all there is to it. Chemo, whatever. These guys told me, "There's nothing we can do for you. We're not going to operate. We're not going to give you chemo. There's nothing we can do.
Wow.
So that left me with not a lot of options. But when he offered to help me, I said, sure, I'll give it a try. And he created a custom multiple organic vegetables, fruits, herbs, and spices grown on his own farm in the Philippine mountains in volcanic soil. Anybody knows about things grown in volcanic soil, they know that it's the maximum potency that that particular fruit or vegetable is capable of having.
Okay.
So what we have with formula G18 is more than 20 fruits, herbs, vegetables, and spices, all grown in volcanic soil for maximum potency. And this is the important part. They're each individually known for more than 2,000 years in ancient Asian medicine for their cancer-fighting properties. He only selected things that were particularly effective at fighting and preventing cancer. I asked him, what can I expect? I mean, I don't have any expectations. What's likely to happen? He said, one of two things. You'll either live 3 times longer than the doctors told you you're going to live, or it will cure you. I said, well, those are pretty good options compared to what the doctor told me back in Florida.
Wow, yeah.
So I started taking it in January. I returned to the United States in December, went to the same doctors, had the same tests and scans, and this time the doctors asked me, what have you been doing? I said, why? They said, because you're cancer-free.
No way.
No way. Wow.
So I showed him the G18, and it really annoyed me with what he said. He said, that's rubbish. I said, you know what's rubbish, Doc? You telling me I'm going to die, and now I'm back in front of you, and you're telling me I'm cancer-free. So which one is it? Either this stuff works, or I'm a ghost. Which one is it? So I've been cancer-free since then. The only thing I take is I continue to take a maintenance of G18, and I've expanded the opportunity to other people to try it. There are no guarantees in life. Well, there's one guarantee. If you don't do something about cancer, it will kill you. And many of the things we have available through the pharmaceutical companies kill you anyhow. Chemotherapy is brutal, what it does to you. Here's a product that can be used in association with traditional medical remedies or individually, because it's all that I took, has no side effects, and I'm here talking to you today, so I'm either a ghost or it works. Which one is it?
That's incredible. And so that's about, you said 7 years ago initially?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow, that's just unbelievable. Now, do you know where the name is derived from, where they got Formula G18, what that means, the significance of that?
I know exactly what it means. My name is Rob Russen. The letter R is the 18th letter of the alphabet. The G was for one of the primary ingredients is graviola. It's a trade secret what the actual ingredients are. But when I was in the Philippines, I went to a shopping center, and their malls are very much like ours, but they had a fruit stand there, and there was a long line of people waiting to buy a fresh-made fruit drink. And they were from Europe, I could tell. First, they were light-skinned, and I could tell by their speaking. And I asked them, what are you waiting to get? There's all these people on the right side for the bananas and strawberries. We're all the way over here on the left. They said, don't you know? I said, don't I know what? They said, we're getting a graviola shake. I said, what is that? They said, it cures cancer. I said, what?
Wow.
Here I am thinking I'm dying from cancer, and they're selling an over-the-counter milkshake that they tell you it cures cancer. In third world countries, graviola is also known as soursop and several other things. It's been saving people for thousands of years. And if you were to do an internet search on it, which I did because I hadn't heard of it, and to me, graviola sounds like an Italian dinner. So I looked it up. It's a fruit grown in tropical climates, and there's 10 million different links on the internet about graviola. Purdue University was hired by a pharmaceutical company in 1997 to do research on graviola to find out if what they say is true. Came back with a report that said graviola is 10,000 times more effective at killing cancer cells without harming healthy cells and without side effects than therapy.
Unbelievable.
Then the chemical company asked them, can you create an artificial version of that so we can get a patent on it? Because you cannot get a patent on fruits or vegetables. So Purdue tried, unable to do that. So they were told to bury the report. And it stayed buried for many years until the doctor who did the study retired, and then it leaked out. And it's available online. So there are a lot of people now who are studying graviola, and I'm very happy that they are, because if nothing else, it alone is better than nothing. And there's a lot of substantiated background to prove that it works. What makes G18, G for graviola, 18 for Rob, RR, it's a combination of 20 super ingredients, each one known for their cancer-fighting properties. So if one is good, what's 20? It's a super supplement, and it does things that no other product can do, because it is that of so many different cancer-fighting properties. And I swear to God, I wouldn't be here talking to you today if it wasn't for that. And I've had the blessing of coming in contact with a lot of other people and helping them when they were told, like me, they were going to die. And they're alive today, feeling great, functioning, getting stronger every day. And it's because of G18.
That's amazing,
That's
Rob.
amazing,
One
Rob.
of the
And
people
one of the
that
people
I want
that, I wanted to
to
mention
give a shout out to,
and,
if she's watching, is Norma, our mutual friend. And, Norma, we interviewed her. And how did you manage to connect to Norma in the first place?
Through Facebook and her Cancer Warriors website. She's an amazing story, an amazing woman, a real warrior, and she's just an inspiration to everyone that knows her.
That's amazing. And I know that she's been just heavily promoting it, saying that it's really helped her a lot. And, she's battling stage 4 cancer, and she fears that without Formula G8, she wouldn't be defeating cancer right now.
One of the things that I welcome about Norma was that she was open-minded. So many people that you meet online or on Facebook come into it with a very closed mind. First off, they trust their doctors till their death, and
Right.
in many cases, that's where it leaves. Doctors are never going to endorse a product like Formula G18 because, number one, they have no training and education in it. They know nothing about it. They can't make money with it, so they're not in any way willing to spend their time or effort to try to learn about an alternative that could help their patient. I've even offered doctors, listen, you've got phase 4 cancer patients with a limited time left by your own standard. Let me have a shot at it, because
Right.
I've proven I can help some of these people. There's no guarantee, but if you don't try, you can't expect any kind of results. So my encouragement to people who are listening or watching us today is to keep an open mind, explore possibilities. And when you get a chance to study G18, realize that there are more than 20 ingredients in there, each one of which is capable of helping you, and with no side effects. So it can be used in association with chemo, or radiation, or anything else without conflicting. So there's almost no reason not to try it, unless you're going to tell you, listen to your doctor, who will tell you, no, don't do that, simply out of his own ignorance. But don't let his ignorance kill you.
Yeah, well said. And the flip side of the coin, Rob, are there any doctors that are pro Formula G18 that are enlightened or that are open-minded that you've met that are endorsing it or advocating
Haven't met
it?
one yet. I've done a mailing to 500 homeopathic doctors who I thought would be receptive. Not a single one of them responded.
I don't understand
Why?
that.
That's the biggest obstacle I encounter. When people meet me, they see me, they hear my story, they see my physical condition, my energy, and they hear my story, they say, wow, maybe this works. That's all I ask. Think about maybe it might work for you. You have nothing to lose. People who take chemo, 90% of them are going to pass away within 10 years anyhow because of the damage chemo does to the body. It's a poison, and it's temporarily perhaps a help, but it's brutal, and it don't have to be that way. I never had chemo. I never had radiation. And I think I'm doing pretty good.
Absolutely. And I've been telling some of my clients about you, and I was really looking forward to this interview, and I can't wait to get this published and sent to them, because I want to give a special shout out also to both Aaron and Pam separately, if they're each watching, both out of Atlanta. And also, you know, how as a trainer, as a fitness professional, what would you advise me, Rob, to be able to talk? Because the reason why I bring up both Pam and Aaron, they've both found out that one of each of their parents have just been diagnosed with cancer. So what would you recommend as a fitness professional, me, talking to them in terms of how they can be introduced to Formula G18?
I would suggest that they trust nature. The gentleman who created G18 to me, the devil invented the disease, God invented the cure. And it's grown in his ground, out of his seeds. And that, I'm not the most religious guy in the world, but that touched me. And
Sure.
I found
Yeah.
it to be true. Now, convincing parents, because they probably have a very tight relationship with their doctor, may be difficult to get them to open their mind, but try to get them to learn about it. I mean, I'll send literature. They can go to the website and find the literature, or they can call me. I'll gladly tell everybody what I know. I'm not a pharmaceutical sales representative. You know? I'm a real person who endured facing cancer and beat it. So I was the human guinea pig with Formula G18. And as you can see, years later, I'm still going strong.
That is impressive. Let me ask you this, Rob. If they're watching right now, anybody watching, and they want to do the what's called the Free Formula Starter Pack, can you tell them what's involved with that? Can you tell them, walk them through the process when they first sign up and order
Yes,
it?
you would go to the website and get 3 bottles. And the reason we suggest 3 bottles for a starter pack is because it's totally unrealistic to expect 1 bottle of anything to cure you of a major disease. In fact, there's a commercial on TV these days for psoriasis, which is not exactly a life-threatening disease, but they claim it takes 4 months for the medication, the pharmaceutical medication, to start working for psoriasis. So you got to give G18 a chance. I've seen it actually work in a shorter period of time. Anywhere between 1 and 3 months will give you a good sample of how it's going to work. But Formula G18 is like taking a vitamin supplement. It's a change in lifestyle. You want to take it and you want to keep taking it because you want to defeat cancer and you want to keep it from coming back. There have been people who tried it for 3 months, the cancer went away, then it came back because they stopped. They went back on G18, it went away again. So I would suggest taking the first 3 months as a trial period if you have cancer. Now also, cancer affects everyone. Either you have it, somebody in your family or somebody that you know has it, it impacts the entire family. And it is hereditary. If someone in your family has had cancer, you have to be concerned. It could happen to you. Taking G18 as preventative against you getting cancer. So I think of anything that's more versatile and helpful to either prevent you from getting it or to help cure it, help keep it from coming back. It's like a total package, all in one formula.
It sounds like a no-brainer, and I know, speaking for myself, I mean, after listening to your video testimonial, talking to you here, and the research I've done on the website, and also talking to Norma as well, if I was diagnosed with it, I'd be getting my hands on that immediately as soon as possible because, yeah, like you said, for one, what do you have to lose? And for two, I'd be trying everything that I could, and something that, you know, is like this just seems like a no-brainer.
Tarryn, I know somebody who works for a cancer funding organization. They give money for research in Chicago. Her husband has brain cancer. They're spending $15,000 a month for chemotherapy, and it's killing him. Started taking G18 6 months ago. They've stopped the chemo. He's feeling better than he has in years, and they're saving a lot of money. So when people say it's expensive, realize anything organic is going to be expensive. It comes from halfway around the world is going to be expensive. But by comparison, $15,000 a month for chemo or less than $100 a month for G18, which one is truly expensive? And one has proven to, in my case, save lives. One kicks your butt. It really does. There's a new drug. I don't know if you've heard of it, called Opdivo. It's
I have
from
not.
Bristol Myers. It's being advertised on TV right now as a life extender for people with one type of cancer. Opdivo, for the first 3 months, cost $174,000. And over the course of a year, it cost in excess of $265,000. What good does it do to create a drug that no one can afford? And by comparison, it doesn't cure anything. It extends your life. The maximum any of their test patients survived was an extra year. Years ago, Andre Agassi used to do a commercial for Canon, and they would say, trip to Disney, this price, kids' reaction, this price. And the final result was priceless. When you have cancer and you're expected to die, to be told that you may have extra time is literally priceless. Every day, every week, every month, every year is a gift. I have a client from New Jersey who went home 29th of July of last year to die. They told him he had 48 hours to live. He already had a supply of G18, but the doctor told him not to take it. As soon as he got home, he started taking a double dose. He called me up Christmas morning crying with joy that he got to spend that extra holiday season with his family. He expected to be gone back in July. So I see what it does. I see the joy it brings to people, how it helps them get stronger, feel better, and brings a positive attitude. And a positive attitude, as you see with her, means so much. I mean, she just exudes energy and positive and smile on her face. And she didn't have that when I first met her. And it's just a wonderful thing to watch her bloom like a flower. It's incredible.
Yeah, I could say that too. Like again, I have her to thank for even connecting to you because I wouldn't have met you through this other than this way, most likely. And every time I see her, she's always posting very positive pictures, and everything she credits it to Formula G18. She's been a wonderful spokesperson for you guys, for
But
sure.
there are people on her Facebook page who are still negative and reluctant. Many of them come in with their own agenda. I'm not here selling seaweed to make money to tell you to cure you of cancer. I'm here as a human guinea pig who this product was invented for. I lived it, tried it, I did it. Good, gone. Cancer's gone. So I am living proof, which I doubt any of those other people can say, because they're just trying to sell their network marketing program or whatever it may be to make money. We're trying to keep the price of this as low as possible, which is why we're not in retail stores. We're directly to the public from the website, because I know how tough things are economically, and we want to keep it as reasonably priced as possible. At some point in the future, if we're able to increase supply and demand, we'll be able to invest more money in the production and actually maybe be able to bring the cost down a little bit. But in the meantime, quantities are limited, product is limited, and fortunately, through people like you, the word is getting out there. We don't have an advertising budget like Opdivo, spending millions of dollars on primetime television so that people can spend $250,000 a year on a drug. I don't even know how it got approved by the FDA. When you look at the side effects of drugs on television these days, many times the side effects are worse than the original disease, and they include causing cancer, causing death, suicidal tendencies.
Yep.
And they get approved? How does that work? I don't get it.
It sounds very backwards. I have a client also who he's 87 years old, and every time he goes to his doctor, he's got a list of things that you just said on the bottle of medication saying may cause death. Why would I take this?
Yeah.
And yeah, that sounds true. But that's wonderful, Rob. Well, let me ask you this. Let's get some website information out there. What's we can take it down that they can check out Formula G18 right now?
It's really easy. You just said it. www.formulag18.com. They don't even have to enter the www anymore. Just type formulag18.com. It'll take you right to the website.
Perfect. And I know that Formula G18 has a pretty strong social media, so they can connect there via Facebook or Twitter
Yes.
and what have you.
Yes.
About this, Rob, let me ask you, the people watching right now, and they're watching your video testimonial, and you had mentioned that they can just contact you directly. What is the best methods of ways that they can contact you if they have any other questions about Formula G18?
Two ways. Rob@formulag18.com is an email address. They can reach me direct, or they can call me, 561-247-6475. And I'll
Perfect.
gladly communicate all the knowledge that I have and encourage first that they get on the right track, positive frame of mind, and open their mind.
Very impressive, Rob. For anybody watching, grab a pen and paper, because when we're done and fade to black, you'll have that information on the screen. We'll see Rob's phone number, email, and again, one more time on the website there too. Rob, this was wonderful. Again, I apologize to you for keeping you a little later. I know that we're short on time here. We're 10 minutes to 1, so we'll go ahead and end the video blog here. But I wanted to say this. That was part 1 with you. Let's definitely bring you back for part 2, because I want to talk to you about your other side, and that's the professional wrestling side of and promoting and everything else that you've been doing with promoting as well.
As our mutual friend in Dallas Page says, slams, jams, and body slams.
I think that that video blog's going to be very interesting personally, because I've got a million questions to ask you in that one as well. But that's wonderful. And, again, I got to commend you. Keep up the great work out there. And, let's definitely, anybody watching, contact Rob directly and check out the website so they can get their hands on it. Because, like I said earlier, every one of us knows somebody, whether it's a family member, an extended family member, friend, coworker, colleague, somebody out there we know of that's dealing with this. And I mentioned earlier that I know 2 of my clients who just had their parents, separately diagnosed with it. So we got to get the word out there. And I'll do everything on my end, too, here in Atlanta, Georgia, to spread the word as well, right?
Let's remember this. Being diagnosed is not the same as your death certificate, which it used to. Now there are options. I don't know why they call it alternative medicine when it is the original medicine. It's been around for thousands of years. Pharmaceutical medicine's only been around 100 years, and every pharmaceutical has side effects. The natural medicines do not. So I'd just like people to recognize that and trust in nature.
It sounds like common sense, and like you said earlier, keeping an open mind as well.
Yes.
Very well said, Rob. Well, Rob, I thoroughly enjoyed part 1 with you, so let's definitely have you back for part 2 with the all the other stuff that we got to get in there about, again, promoting and wrestling and everything else. But in the meantime, thank you so much for your time, Rob. I really enjoyed the last half hour. It flew by. It felt like 5 minutes with you, but I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, folks watching right now, we're fading to black here. Here comes the contact information one more time. Okay, folks, there you have it. That was Formula G18. You got the website and also the contact information. You heard it straight from the CEO of that company, Mr. Rob Russen, including his contact information, comprising of his cell phone number and email address. So please make sure you contact him today and tell him you saw him right here on GoTarryn TV, and let him know you want to know more about Formula G18. Not only is he the CEO of the company, folks, but he is also a cancer survivor. You heard his testimonial right there, and he is cancer-free. I've got to say, anybody watching right now, including yours truly, you do know someone, we all do, who is either suffering from cancer, who was diagnosed previously, or anybody else that's involved with us, one of our loved ones, our coworkers, family, friends, colleagues, what have you. So keep an open mind, like he said. What is the worst that can happen? Check it out. You got nothing to lose. So please make sure to go to the website and definitely learn more about it. And folks, I also want to say I apologize for the Wi-Fi connection. It was a bad day of recording, unfortunately, in here. The building management, they were doing some stuff upstairs, and it was messing up the internet. So I know it was a little bit glitchy and spotty, but we still got the video in. And I can't thank Mr. Rob Russen's patience enough. I held him on the phone and trying to let him know that we're going to try to get it recorded. And I was determined to get this recorded. But that's part 1 with Rob, because, again, we're going to get him back on here for part 2. He's going to be talking about things that he's been doing with promoting and wrestling and such and what have you. So I think you'll find that to be a very fascinating video blog as well, so be on the lookout for that. But that'll do it for today's video episode. I want to thank everyone else, and again, thank Mr. Rob Russen for being right here on GoTarryn TV and what they're doing with Formula G18. So keep up the great work out there. And for everyone else out there, please make sure to check out the website link in the the bottom of your screen right there, www.GoTarryn.tv, and check out all the GoTarryn videos, which are archived right there at that website. And a few more things, if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to like GoTarryn on Facebook, subscribe to GoTarryn on YouTube, and follow GoTarryn on Twitter, and that'll keep you connected to the master of the personal training universe, Tarryn, the traveling trainer of GoTarryn Personal Training, who always tells each and every one of you that it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. Thanks so much for watching, folks. See you on the next video blog.